I'm watching every single Criterion film. In this video, I have Night Train to Munich, which is a wonderfully swift wartime espionage comedy that disguises real menace beneath polished speed and wit. Carol Reed turns what could have been just a chase picture into a film about identity, political disguise, and the absurd theatricality of power. It moves fast but is not lightweight. The film keeps balancing danger and play, and that balance is exactly what makes it so elegant. The story begins with the collapse of Czechoslovakia and the Nazi occupation casting a shadow over Europe. British inventor Axel Bomach has developed important military technology, and after the Germans take over, he becomes a target. His daughter Anna is eventually drawn into the conflict, and the British intelligence officer Dickie Randall is sent into the mix to help extract her and secure the invention. What follows is a series of deceptions, disguises, reversals, and double crosses that take the characters from London to Germany and finally onto the night train. The plot is built less like a straight line than like a machine of interruptions. Every apparent solution creates a new danger, every disguise invites another disguise, and that structure is crucial since the film is not just about a rescue mission, about how unstable truth becomes in a fascist world built on surveillance, impersonation, and coercion. People are constantly performing roles, whether as loyalists, collaborators, patriots, or innocent people trying to survive. The train sequence is the film's payoff. It is not just a setting, but a compressed theatrical space where masks can be torn away. Identity can be tested, and the machinery of suspense can run at full speed. In classic thriller fashion, the enclosed space makes every gesture meaningful, but Reed also uses that setting to expose the absurdity of showing authoritarianism by making the Nazis look most powerful when they are most ridiculous and idiotic. One of the film's central ideas is that identity in wartime is unstable and performative. Characters survive by playing roles, speaking carefully, and reading one another's cues. The spies and soldiers are not the only ones pretending, as everyone is forced into some kind of act. That makes the film feel especially modern. It understands that in a political system defined by deception, the truth is often less visible than the costume. This is why the disguises matter so much. They are not just plot devices, they are visual metaphors for a world in which national identity, moral certainty, and personal loyalty are all under pressure. Reed's film suggests that fascism depends on performance and secret ulterior motives, also that resistance sometimes must adopt those methods in return. The film never forgets the danger of Nazism, but it also refuses to glorify them. The Nazis are threatening, but they are also frequently petty, weak, bureaucratic, and comically dumb. That tonal choice is important. By puncturing the aura of inevitability and mastery around them, the film strips away some of the ideological glamour fascism tries to project. At the same time, the comedy does not erase the threat. The humor works because the stakes are real, and that tension gives the film its bite. The Nazis are ridiculous, but they are also lethal. Reed keeps both facts in view, make you laugh at them and ridicule, but also feel the imminent threat their presence brings. Unlike some wartime films that lean on a serious tone, Night Train to Munich presents patriotism as resourceful, improvisational, and often wise. British competence here is less about stiff heroics and more about having guts, clever thinking, and adaptability. The film's ideal patriot is not a statue, but someone who can think quickly, bluff well, and stay calm under pressure, and that gives the movie a distinctly British wartime flavor. It values decency, creativity, and nerve more than rhetoric. The result is a film that feels confidence building without becoming propaganda in a blunt way. The film also works because it gives its espionage machinery a human core. The emotional pull between the characters matters. Anna is not just a narrative object to be rescued, but a person navigating danger with intelligence and determination. The relationships soften the harshness of the geopolitical backdrop without trivializing it. That balance helps the film avoid becoming a purely mechanical thriller. Rex Harrison is amazing in his role because he can project elegance, impatience, and mischief all at once. His performance as Dickie Randall gives the film its verbal sparkle. He plays Randall as a man who seems to enjoy out-talking danger, and that charisma is essential. Harrison is not the kind of action hero who dominates through physical force. He dominates through composure and timing. He also sort of gives that James Bond effect, which I really liked. And what makes his performance effective is the way he hides calculation inside charm. He can sound relaxed while clearly thinking several moves ahead, and that makes him especially suited to a film about masks and improvisation. His wit is not decorative, it is tactical. Margaret Lockwood brings intelligence and quick emotional responsiveness to Anna. She avoids making the character just beautiful or melodramatic, even when the story places her in a familiar, endangered woman position. Lockwood gives Anna a practical alertness that keeps her from feeling submissive. Her presence also helps the film's tonal balance. She grounds the more playful espionage material with a real sense of fear and determination, which makes the stakes feel personal, not just procedural. Lockwood's performance is one of the reasons the film never becomes too lighthearted and loses the emotional stakes. Paul Henreid adds complexity and tension with the kind of controlled presence that suits a wartime thriller. The supporting actors, especially those embodying Nazi officials and Allied resistance, help populate the film's world with distinct textures rather than generic types. Carol Reed understands the value of sharp character work in secondary roles. Even when the plot is moving quickly, the faces and attitudes remain memorable. The film's ensemble quality matters because espionage stories depend on uncertainty. A really good supporting cast does more than fill space. It creates the feeling that anyone might be concealing something, and in this film, that works very well. Carol Reed directs with exceptional control over pace, tone, and visual clarity. One of his greatest strengths is that he never never lets the film's lightness become careless. The comedic touches are carefully embedded in suspenseful situations, so the film keeps advancing even when it pauses for clever jabs or character interplay. Reed is also amazing at escalation. The film keeps tightening without becoming claustrophobic too early. It expands into Europe, then narrows back into the enclosed thriller space of the train. That structural movement is elegant, almost musical when it comes to restraint and deliberate timing. He understands exactly when to accelerate and when to let a scene breathe. The direction is efficient but not blunt. Reed uses geography clearly so that you always know where danger is coming from and how the characters are trying to outmaneuver it. At the same time, he knows when to make the frame expressive. The film often emphasizes corridors, compartments, uniforms, and thresholds, all the spaces where identity can be checked, denied, or swapped. That is why the train setting works so well under Reed. The train is already a tight confinement of transportation, and he exploits both aspects. It becomes a moving stage for hidden secrets and revelations, and I think Reed's most impressive achievement is his tonal control. The film could easily become either too comedic or too dark. Instead, it lives in a productive middle zone. The jokes do not sabotage suspense, and the suspense does not crush the clever humor. That tonal balance gives the film its distinctive identity. Night Train to Munich still works today because it treats surveillance and spies as both serious and playful. It understands that in wartime, people are often forced into improvisation, and that improvisation can be funny, frightening, and morally revealing all at once. Its pleasures are not only in the twist, but in the confidence with which Reed stages them. It is a film about seeking refuge, disguising identity, and having hope for rescue, but also about the theatrical machinery of politics itself. Nazis and fascists put on a performance of power, while spies perform innocence to hide rebellion against authoritarian regimes. Lovers perform composure, and nations perform certainty to maintain a sense of safety. Reed sees through all of it without losing entertainment value, and that is the film's real dignity. And I give Nighttime to Munich an A+, a 9 out of 10, a 4.5 stars. I really enjoy this movie. And it also could be because I have a soft spot for movies that take place around like World War II time and like just historical movies like that. Yeah, I just really enjoy this movie, and I think a lot more people should check it out, should watch it, because it has that balance of like a war like spy type of movie, like a mystery thriller, but then it also has some comedy mixed into it. I think that there's a great balance, and if there's one Criterion film you should check out, I think this one you should definitely check out. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen Night Train to Munich down below, and don't forget to like and follow.